thanks everyone out there for taking some time to get an update on the core mining story. I think this is the third time I've presented core at the Metals Investor Forum, the last time being early in 2020, and we've had boots on the ground building out the company through fundraising, advancing assets through the course of this year. We've made tons of progress, and I think we've got a lot more to do and a lot more value to create, so I'm excited to be here to give you an update. I am going to make forward-looking statements. I encourage anybody interested in buying equities to ensure they do read company disclosures, forward-looking statements, and the like before making investments. I usually spend these presentations talking about why to invest in core. I think we check, and Gwen will attest as a shareholder, a lot of the boxes she outlined of things she has in her portfolio. And I'm going to go through these again at the end. But I'd like to focus this time on going through the assets we have that have the nearest term news flow as opposed to the highest priority to give you an idea of what we've been up to at core. As a reminder, core has three main assets that have almost 5 million ounces. We are 100% gold. There's a little bit of silver in two of the projects, but we're primarily gold with 5 million ounces in the ground. And we've got internal diversification inside the company. The Imperial project, we completed a PEA this year. That project is moving into permitting to become a mine with some great exploration upside. Our Long Valley project also has a PEA to backstop value, and we're out exploring to grow the resources and the value of that PEA. And then I'm going to start on the project that arguably gets the least attention inside the company, but is currently generating a lot of excitement, the FG Gold project up in the Caribou region of British Columbia. So you hear a lot about districts. You know, we heard a prior presenter here talking about the Golden Triangle. Well, let's talk a bit about the Caribou. So you're going to hear the word Caribou a lot as I walk through these assets. The Caribou is the oldest gold district in British Columbia. It built infrastructure in British Columbia up the Fraser River Valley in the mid to late 1800s on gold discoveries up in the Caribou region. And it really built the cities of Vancouver from nothing but small forest towns to significant economic centers. It built towns up in the Caribou region like Barkerville, and it left behind a great legacy in British Columbia of mining. So, why are we excited internally? Well, partially it's due to the actions of another company, and that is Osisko Developments, which I like to describe as bringing back the Caribou. So Osisko Development is being spun out of Osisko Gold Royalties. They're bringing with them almost 6 million ounces at 4 grams per ton at what used to be called Barkerville. And this is the Barkerville Gold Project, which they now call the Caribou Gold Project. There's that Caribou name again. That project is being led by Sean Ruzin. They've raised $100 million. They've got 6 rigs turning up there. I think as they would put it, they're finding gold everywhere they put a hole in the ground. And this is going to emerge as an incredible new company and put the Caribou back on the map of go-to gold districts in British Columbia and in North America. And guess who's got the second largest land position in the Caribou? You guessed it, it's core. Through the course of this year, we put together a total now of just over 1,000 square kilometers of claims. That includes 110 kilometers of the Eureka Thrust Trend, which controls mineralization on this part of the Caribou Belt. The projects are all 100% owned and low royalty. We have a flagship project called FG Gold where we're drilling right now. We've got a second gold discovery we made in 2018 at Gold Creek, right adjacent to Spanish Mountain. We've got 5 other early stage gold projects on the land package. We think we're in for a gold bonanza, just like Osisko is getting up in the north part of the belt. So let me zoom in a little bit onto one part of that land package at FG Gold where we're currently drilling. On that project, we've got a 20-kilometer at-surface geophysic and gold soil anomaly that was drilled several times in the past, generating a 1 million ounce, very shallow gold resource at about 0.8 grams per ton in what's called the main zone. And that mineralization has been traced in what you can see as this red area on the map, which is the north part of the limb from this big regional fold that goes around the district. In that, we've got drilling no deeper than 100 meters that's carrying 1 million ounces of gold in the main zone. Well, that deposit was drilled as a bulk disseminated ore body, but it's not. It's actually a complex structurally controlled vein system that we're re-drilling to redefine and try to upgrade, as well as penetrate that rock mass at depth. Because if you look in the regional cross-section also in the slide at that yellow, there is great potential to chase the mineralization at this deposit underground and open up a massive amount of rock mass to discovery. So as such, we've drilled 8 holes in the winter of this year, which we released earlier this year. Had some great success in putting holes through the existing resource, proving that our sort of more modern, more scientific exploration program could be successful. We're using metallic screens on old gold assays. We're using oriented wide diameter core drilling instead of the past largely RC and narrow diameter core and fire assays. And we're stepping out. We're stepping out below and on strike on the ore body. We really like what we've seen. We found lots of VG. And in fact, we discovered, and this is in a pre-released hole, FG2369. You can see it right here with the gray circle on this map. Hit 3.9 grams over 10 meters, including 33.9 grams over a meter. And that was about 100 meters or double the depth of the known mineralization. Well, it's one of the first holes we drilled in the summer program, where we now have 25 holes in the can and a bunch of those with assays in those, yes, slow, but in the labs. We've seen more hits of VG, and you can see in this hole 2377, we put out a news release, I think 2 weeks ago, showing where we had penetrated deeper in the ore body. We got some VG deep down this hole, now 320 meters down dip from the shallow historic mineralization. We're really excited to get those assays back, and we're expecting a news release here sometime in the next couple of weeks. So taking that sort of back around, FG Gold is shaping up to be an incredible opportunity to be the number 2 player on the coattails of Osisko in the Caribou, and bringing back the Caribou onto the market and into the world stage as a major gold district in North America. But that is actually not the flagship asset for KORE, the one we usually talk the most about. The most advanced asset in the company is the Imperial Gold Project, which I will briefly outline here. And I like to think a picture says 1,000 words. So look in the background of this cover picture for the Imperial Gold Project. This is the exact location we plan to build the heap leach and part of the open pit for the project. It's flat, open, northern Sonoran Desert. And this is actually an extension of the Mexican gold fields coming across the border from Sonora into Southern California. We've got 2.2 million ounce resource. We did a PEA early this year that showed incredible economics. At $1,600 gold, it's got a $450 million NPV and a 52% IRR on one of the lowest capital intensity projects in the Southwest US. And it's a solid mid-tier mine at almost 150,000 ounces of gold production. But what we're most excited about, in addition to taking that project into permitting to become a mine, is the exploration upside. So in order to generate value for our shareholders, we took the original claims we bought from Goldcorp, which was the Imperial existing resource, and we staked almost a total of 20,000 acres of claims that extends our 100% owned ground from this project up to the nearly 9 million ounce Mesquite Gold Camp, which has been mined for 25 years in this same county in California, is currently owned by Equinox Gold. This opens up a massive exploration opportunity for KORE. We've gone out with geophysics and IP looking under the cover that's on this ground for new discoveries. We found some very interesting structure, which tends to control gold mineralization. We're out in the field over the last couple of weeks doing field prospecting and samples. And again, we have a ton of samples in the lab. We've been finding a lot more outcrop than we thought we would in the desert quashes. And we're real excited to put out some of our highest priority prospects sometime in the next month or so. And we've currently got a 150 pad drill program in permitting with the Bureau of Land Management. This is all federal land that we expect to get sometime in early 2021 to have us drilling probably in Q2 at this project, subject to getting those permits in place. So again, looking to go out and hit some of these high priority targets and demonstrate the incredible opportunity we have here, not only in development of Imperial, but in making new discoveries and growing that project. And finally, in the company, we've got a third project, which we're also paying attention to, called Long Valley. This is again on federal land. It's part of the Walker Lane trend, although it's just across the border from Nevada in mid-central California, called the Long Valley Gold Project. This is on a cattle lease, which you can see in the background. And 20 years later, you can still see Royal Gold's drill construction roads here. You can see those straight lines kind of heading off into the distance. That is the original drill roads for this 1.7 million ounce resource. We did a PEA a couple months ago that also shows it's got a really nice economics, potential 100,000 ounce producer with a reasonable mine life. But we believe we've got real exciting opportunities to, with a very little bit of drill investment, to step out and grow the oxide gold in this project and grow the size of resources behind that PEA. And that's exactly what we're doing. We're currently permitting a drill program for next year to go grow oxides and test this deposit for high-grade sulfides at depth, because it is an intact epithermal deposit. Bringing all that back around in a circle, since we last were at MIF, we have done a lot of work in building out the company. We've now built out a team of both exploration and development professionals. Our development team is led by Mark Leduc out of Denver, Colorado. He's got great experience in heap leach mine his entire career, and he got the Castle Mountain project done that's now owned by Equinox and went into commercial production last month, showing you can permit, work, and build gold mines in California. We've also got a great exploration team anchored by the old Balmoral exploration team and Mike Tucker up in the Vancouver office that is currently driving our activities in the Caribou and will be turning their attention to California upon drill permitting in 2021. We also have completed those 2 PEAs, built out the land packages around our projects to create district scale opportunities, and believe we've generated a lot of value for our shareholders. However, if you look at the valuation for Core, we're sitting on 5 million ounces. We're sitting in almost $1 billion Canadian in net NPV for our 2 projects at $1,600 gold. And the company is still really cheap on almost any metric you can spin. Ounces in the ground, NPV, NAV, you name it, the company still has a lot of value to create by advancing these projects and investing on the ground in our assets. So we're really excited to take Core from where it is today into a real mid-tier company. So why invest in Core? I and the rest of management of the board are large shareholders. We're doing a lot of work on the ground to generate news flow and catalyst for the equity. We've got a really nice valuation point here. We've got a portfolio of access that creates diversification of a lot of the characteristics that Gwen said she liked in names, and we're happy to have her and hopefully others on this call as shareholders. And I look forward to the Q&A. Thank you very much.